which is first quarter 2024, we only managed to export agricultural goods worth about 1.03 trillion naira. And, that's compared to 15.48 for crude, 1.90 for other petroleum products. How do we improve the figures? How do we drive focus to our agri and, get it to be a revenue spinning machine for us?
There are two areas I'll look at this from. One, we must get our mind away from selling agricultural product. It's a senseless and a system that will keep you behind. I will explain. We should stop selling agricultural product as raw materials. We must stop being primary producers. Whatever we produce, we should be able to add value to it. There was a year, I can't remember the exact year, I've used that figure, I have not updated my figures, but Côte d'Ivoire at the time was #1 producer of cocoa. Côte d'Ivoire made about $16 billion that year from cocoa. Guess what? Netherlands do not produce cocoa, but they add value to it, make it a final product. As at that year, from dairy products alone, from chocolate product alone, they made over 40-something billion in terms of revenue. So, firstly, we must take our mind away from the primary production, selling agricultural product in its raw form. We must look at the products that are what you call the cash crops. Sit down and think like human beings for once. What value can we add? We must understand the value chain. When we are able to take our agricultural material from the raw form to the final product, when we can add value, then we will start making more money. Because right now, somebody sits down somewhere and determine how much you will sell a ton of cocoa. Those people, like I tell you, they don't even understand what the cocoa tree looks like, but they will help you because they will tell you cocoa is an international product, just like our petroleum. They will put value on your own product that you have sweated. It takes about 3 years from the day you put a cocoa seed in the ground till the day you start harvesting. Yet somebody sit down and determine the price. So one, we must take our mind away from primary production, which is firstly. Then secondly, to boost agriculture, there are a lot of things that can be done. I am very proud of what the CBN has done. They have removed the management of NASA, which was a clog in the wheel of development. What the Buhari government tried to do then was to look at the anchor borrower system. Now, what I want this government to do is to go back and dust that blueprint. Now, when you dust the blueprint, these are the things you are going to do. One, when you dust it, you look at what they did. Then the second thing you will now do is, what did they do right and what did they do wrong? We can pick from there. Then finally, you can now say, look, the CBN should not directly intervene in agriculture. Rather, the CBN should create an intervention agency. Why did I say this? What happened was when the CBN under the immediate past management got involved in agriculture, everything that happened became a sleaze. They stole billions and trillions till today. Nobody can account for how much was stolen in the name of intervention in agriculture, in the name of anchor borrower. So create an agency that you can now fund by a certain amount. Why am I saying this? If you have a development agency, because CBN should never be a development bank. It's a crime, it is wrong, it is not part of their job, it is not part of their mandate. Now, when you have a development agency, you can adequately fund it and monitor it. You can audit it and see what has been done. But when the person putting the money is still the one supervising itself, there is always that tendency for graft and sleaze. So I expect that the CBN will use both NASA and the Bank of Agriculture to push agriculture, invest massively in agriculture, and like I said, build the entire value chain around every product that we produce in large quantity, so that we can be able to add value, make it to a final product, and make more money than selling raw product, and then you just become a primary producer for somebody else who does not produce but will make more money than you if you are able to sell your product to them because you don't know how to add value to your product.
And some more talk really about concentrating on locally produced products. How deliberate do you think we are?
I didn't get that.
How deliberate are we to get this done?
Well, I cannot answer that because, like I always tell my friends, I am not yet in government. Maybe the people in government can tell us how deliberate we are. However, saying that the CBN has started the move for changing that agency that is supposed to fund agriculture, which is called NASA. That is a first step. I want to see more steps, and probably the people in charge of agricultural ministry in Nigeria, I am sorry to say, I think they don't know their job. This current Ministry of Agriculture under the current minister has not done anything to show me as a person. I don't know whether other people have other, maybe they have another opinion. My opinion is that the current minister, and we have two of them, they don't know their job, they don't know what they are doing. They need to bring in someone who understands how to drive agricultural value chain and ensure that you put in policies in place that will help boost agriculture. You don't want the minister sitting down and cutting tape to share rice. That is not what Ministry of Agriculture should be doing. They should be putting in policies and helping to drive these policies to the point where, as an agricultural nation, we can be proud to say, look, we produce this and we can add value and ensure that the entire value chain is within our own control. That is how it works for me.
All right, then. And as we wrap up, in recent time, the president has actually been making efforts to woo investors to Nigeria. How do we improve the ease of doing business back home to ensure that when these investments come in, they remain?
Thank you very much. I understand that there are challenges in terms of investment, the investment climate. But from what I'm saying, the reforms that this present government has embarked on, they look painful, they look challenging. However, I think it is in the right steps. You can look at it from the aviation system, for instance. Remember, before this current CBN governor took over, we were having a huge challenge from a repatriating trap fund from airlines, and they all refused to do business in Nigeria. Now we've cleared that. The CBN has cleared all legitimate transactions that were trapped. Now, how you make these things happen is, one, this currency that we were talking about now, I just spoke about it a while ago, harmonizing our currency was one of the biggest steps that this government took. And if we are able to maintain that, then you will open up to show the world that, look, we are transparent. We do not have multiple currency exchange rates, because that already is an impediment to business. That is one. Then secondly, we need to work on our port system. Our port system is a mess. That is why people would rather go and use neighboring countries' port, which are not even as big as ours, but because it is easy. If you go to our port today, almost 100 agencies are there harassing everybody. So we need to clean this up. I think the government has started well, but we need to run even faster than we are running, because time and tide wait for no man. The government has started well, but they need to run faster to ensure that we get some closure to some of these problems that were bedeviling Nigeria before now.
Development economist Ayobami Oyalowo, thank you so much for your time on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that's our program. What to repeat at midnight and at 6 a.m. I am Abosadi Adenero.